Most of the galaxy didn't care all too much about our species, considering that we were, as they put it, useless to all extents. We weren't able to modify matter in any sufficient manner. At least they left us alone most of the time. Our presence in the Galactic Senate was nothing but a formality, as it was stated that every sentient species held within the galactic community shall be represented. We certainly didn't hold any political power or anything. So we were quite confused when we received the transmission from the Terrans, an upcoming species that had only recently unified. We had heard interesting things about these Terrans. They had made their origin world habitable again, and were apparently undertaking deep space voyages by primitive means, even before being discovered by the galactic community. Dear Jixitons, the message started. In the name of the newly formed nation of United Terran States, we'd like to extend our offer for military cooperation. We believe this proposal to be beneficial to both species. This confused us even more, as we had no military to speak of. How are we supposed to fight without being able to hold on to any weapons? We understand that this might cause some confusion, and we may add it has been met with disbelief by the Galactic Senate as well. However, considering how your species does not have any military, so to speak, they were quick to vote for a favourable outcome and hurry on to more pressing matters, so the proper permissions were granted. We will be sending a delegation given your species' interest towards this offer. The message read further. We were curious. Why would a race of supposed Death Worlders ask a species such as ours for military cooperation, even though we had no military? We had heard that some of our species were in some kind of agreement with individual Terrans, and that they designate the Terrans they were caring for as their pets, although their Terrans would usually state it was the other way around, exposing their fangs and making strange noises while doing so. We had also heard that one of our species had recently risen to the rank of captain on a Terran pirate fleet, although we found that hard to believe. But there would be no harm in hearing them out. It's not like we can stop you from entering our space, we replied, but we are curious to see what you're attempting to offer us. Slavery of some sort, maybe? Our species wouldn't make for very productive slaves. Not long after, the Terran delegation fell out of the sky onto the waves of our oceans. They were in some kind of buoyancy device. Some of our own species were resting on the Terran bodies, slightly offset to one of their sides, just at the level of their heads. They had come with the Terrans and they would act as translators. Jixia welcomes you. One of us initiated the conversation. We exchanged the proper formalities. What exactly is your reasoning behind this? We asked the Terrans. The Terrans would not answer the question directly. Instead, they showed us pictures of their war machines. Mighty beasts of steel. Yes, but what does that have to do with anything? We asked them again. As you may be aware, the Galactic Senate has recently outlawed all use of artificial intelligence, one Terran stated. And we kind of relied on that. So we needed to find a sufficient substitute, and we believe we have found this substitute in your species, it continued. Are you sure you haven't suffered any damage during descent? We asked the Terran. It revealed its fangs, which we were told was a gesture of appreciation from those who had lived amongst them. Quite certain. But why don't you just use Terrans? We asked it. Surely that would be more suitable. The Terran shook its head. Your species is small and easy to take care of. Resilient too. The space needed to build a cockpit for a human could be used more efficiently. For example, to pack more weapons or tools. And given that our previous designs were built with artificial intelligence in mind, we haven't left any place for such a thing. However, if we strip out the computational devices... We were intrigued. What's in it for us then? We finally asked. The nation of United Terran States would agree to part with the following systems, which may be of interest of your species. Furthermore, the nation of United Terran States will produce certain Terran devices for the entirety of your species and give you passage rights throughout the Sol system. We agreed, although the last part didn't make any sense to us. Why would anybody want to visit some backwater system at the edge of the galaxy? The Terrans took some of us who volunteered back to their ship. That's how we ended up piloting the massive war machines the Terrans had built. Gigantic bipedal hunks of metal, 150 terameters tall, filled to the brim with Terran weaponry. And all that was required to make these colossal machines move was a sentient gelatinous ball, no bigger than 7 Terran centimeters in diameter. To this rotation, most species in the Galactic Senate do not understand how the Terran war machines retained their abilities after artificial intelligence had been outlawed. We will keep them wondering. Where the other species in the galaxy saw uselessness to all extents, the Terrans saw potential. Commander Bietois of the Nuts Mechanized Forces.